I want to help you feel less stressed and less anxious. So after watching this video, you will feel on top of your stress and anxiety, as opposed to stress and anxiety and all of those other emotions feeling on top of you right now. So first, let's create a visual. Now this visual, this represents your body. Now this is a bucket. I know it doesn't look like a bucket, but it's supposed to be a bucket. The bucket represents your body. Now the blue is going to represent, well, the blue is water. The blue represents stresses, so droplets of stresses. And this is going to represent, like I just said, stress. So what's happening right now to you is your bucket might be to the point of overflowing. Now, before I get onto that, first, it's important to realize that we need some level of stress for adaptation. The Greeks call this eustress. Now, eustress just means, well, I don't know if the Greeks say, but it's a Greek term, which just means a good stress. So we need levels of stress for adaptation, right? We need to stress our muscles, our joints, our tendons at the gym, training, doing stretching, mobility, in order for them to grow. So that stressor signals growth. We need digestive stress for your body to digest food, for you to assimilate, to process nutrition, to give you energy. So there needs to be digestive stress in order for growth. There needs to be some level of stress in meditation, right? Sitting still, focusing on your mind, focusing on your breath. There has to be that stress there in order for your mind to grow stronger and to manage thoughts and stress management. So we need some level of stress. This is known as eustress. But the problem is, 24/7 these days, 2025, there's not so much eustress. We are overloaded with stress, which becomes chronic stress. Now, this is all going to be important in order for you to understand how to manage stress. So stay with me. So let's say these stresses enter the body are happening to you right now. So let's speak about the first one, which could be happening. Obviously, I don't know you personally. You have the stress of relationship. Remember what the blue represents? Little droplets of stresses. So we fill the bucket up a little bit. And remember, the body can't perceive what different stress is. So it doesn't say, oh, that's a financial stress. Oh, that's a relationship stress. So it perceives all stress the same, which is why it enters one bucket. Cool, so we got relationship stress. And this is causing stress at work. So let's say you have another level of stress. Let's just put work stress. Once again, stress enters the body. Little droplets of water. Now the bucket keeps filling up. Now, because you've got the work stress, relationship stress, let's say you have the stress now of not being able to sleep at night. So this is another level of stress. Bucket's filling up pretty quick, right? And because we're not sleeping great, we're making poor nutritional choices. Instead of the fruit salad at work, we're picking the donuts. Again, that level of stress, ultra-processed foods, maybe equaling more inflammation, more stress. So let's say now we have nutritional stress. And we could go on and on. I won't bore you. But let's say this keeps happening. More stress, more water entering the bucket, more stress. Now here's a question. What happens when the water gets to the top? When the water gets to the top, what starts happening? The water starts overflowing. The water starts seeping out of the bucket because there is too much water, because there's too much stress in the body. Now, what does this lead to if we're speaking about stress and the human organism? Well, when you have an overflowing bucket, where should I go? This is where you get those symptoms, right? Symptoms of overtired. This is where you're lying in bed, super tired, but wired at the same time. Just I can't sleep, but I'm so tired. But you have all of these stress hormones circulating around in your brain. You could be feeling completely burnt out. By 9 a.m., you wake up, have a coffee, get to work, I'm depleted already. Classic sign of overstress, chronic stress. Classic sign of water flowing out the bucket. You could be feeling low libido. probably the last thing on your mind when you're stressed. You just have no oomph for physical connection, right? Low libido is a huge sign, once again, of overflowing bucket. Now we could go on and on. There's many other things. Anxious, not recovering well at the gym, feeling irritable, feeling grouchy, getting angry all the time. Maybe you're a patient person, but because you have so much stress, you have little patience for people. So there's many other things here. So you're probably thinking, okay, great, Josh, you've just told me how stressed I am. How is that helpful? Well, this is so important to think about because now you have a visual of what's happening in your body during times of stress. Now, what I've explained here is that all stress summates. So all stress entering your bucket, entering your body, will keep leveling up, keep summating, until it gets to the point where, hey, John, hey, Lucy, you've got so much stress in your body, I'm going to give you the signals of overtired, burnt out, low libido, anxious, feeling irritable, etc. And what this tells you is, okay, or hopefully what I'm explaining today is, okay, now I understand what is happening. And here's the key point that why I'm doing all of this part. You can get to the point of not letting your bucket overflow because you understand that all stress right now in your life is summating. So you're thinking, okay, I have all of this stress. I remember Josh's analogy. I don't want my bucket to overflow to lead me down this path. Now I'm aware. Now I'm aware of what is happening. Whereas before, you might have just been going about your day, not realizing your bucket slowly increasing over the weeks, over the months, and you're wondering, why am I feeling like this? Why am I feeling like this? Why am I feeling like this? So hopefully now, going away after today, you might be thinking, okay, I'm carrying this bucket with me. Now I'm aware of all of this stress entering. You just have a bit more perspicacity, a bit more perspicacious with who you are, body awareness. So you can go on to the next point, management of all of this. So let's say this is your bucket still. The bucket doesn't change, Josh, still a bucket. But at the bottom of this bucket, actually what I should do is create a little gap. Let's get rid of this. So at the bottom of this bucket, there is a little opening. Now this is what I want you to go away and think about today. At the bottom of this bucket is a little opening. Now this opening represents techniques that you can do to reduce the water, to reduce the stresses in your life so it doesn't get to this point. But you can only be aware of this point if you're aware how much stress is in your bucket. That's why I started on that point, to build your level of awareness up. And you thinking, wow, I do have that stress, I do have that stress, I do have that stress. Wow, my bucket's probably pretty full. With awareness becomes change, right? So now you're aware, you can think, I really need to do some stress management techniques. So what we can do to let some water out so it doesn't start overflowing. What do you find relaxing? What do you find fun? What do you find enjoyable? What do you find is that thing that you think at the end of that thing, wow, I feel so much better. And instead of me saying, you need to do this, you need to do that, you need to do this, it might not work for you. So this is why I like to pose the question, what does work for you? What do you find fun? What do you find fun but restorative? Well, we can think about the first thing. Let's go blue. The top thing that you can focus on, trying to sleep as best as you can. Try to get to bed at a good time. Try to wake up consistently at the same time. And this will really balance out the stress. That's a huge one. Now you're probably thinking, well, I have all of this stress, but I'm sleeping poorly. I understand that. So to get to this point, let's think about, well, do you like things such as reading in the evening, reading something relaxing, just reading. Do you enjoy reading? Puts you in a state of relaxing. Could that be an option? Again, I'm just posing some options to you. Obviously I don't know you personally. I just put relaxation. I meant to put reading. You get my point. Could it be stretching? Could it be just 5-10 minutes in the evening, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, however much time you have, just to do some light stretching? Release some tension out of your body which releases some water out of your bucket. So could it be stretching? Could it be tapping into the breath? Breath work, so popular these days because it is so effective. You're using your own physiology, you're tapping into your own breath. And your breath can calm you down through that stimulation of the vagus nerve, which stimulates the parasympathetic branch of the nervous system, which naturally calms you down. So can the breath be a big part to play? Breath work, breathing techniques, letting some water out of the bucket. Let's just give one more example because I won't waffle on. What's a really restorative thing that you can do? Walking? How about walking? How about in the morning, if you have time, or on your lunch break, or at some point in the day, you can dedicate 10 to 15 minutes of walking in. Again, with the idea of letting that water out of the bucket. And all of these things will help you get to this point, which is the biggest restorative thing that we can do, which is sleep. So have a think about that. What does that look like for you? What does letting some water out of your bucket look like after this post, after this video, in order for this not to happen, in order to stop the overflowing, and in order for your body to get back to what it wants? Wait, so I need to concentrate on this word. I cannot multitask. There we go. Get your body back to what it wants, which is homeostasis, which is balance. Doing these will reduce the water out of your bucket, stop you overflowing, getting to this point. And if you do these consistently over the weeks, over the days, you bring your body back into homeostasis, which is balance, and you start to feel less stressed, you start to feel less tired, get your libido back, you have more energy, you're just a better person to be around. Cool. So hopefully after this, you know about stress, and now you know some techniques. So what you need to do, have a little think of what you need to do to reduce the water out of your personal bucket. Thanks for your time. If you enjoyed this, please give this a like, drop a comment, subscribe if you like these style of videos on my Blackboard, and I'll be sure to post more of these videos in the future. I'm Josh, I appreciate your time. Hope today was helpful.